Okay, where's my gavel? Somebody's, oh, it's way over here.
Oh, they stole it.
Call the meeting to order, 7:30. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I forgot to ask Paul if he's ready, but I'm sure we're good.
I'm sure you figured it
Roll call.
out. Greg,
Here.
Angela here, Sarah.
Here.
Chris,
Here.
Lisa.
Here.
All right, everybody's in attendance. Moving on to D, agenda approval. We have a couple additions. I think you guys got an email. If not, we're adding a couple guest speakers. We're adding E, number 4, Dustin Drabick of Decker, and number 5, Russ Decrease of, is it Decrease?
Correct.
Okay, of the wind system. Item H, it says consent agenda, but it's technically like the board committee and department reports. 1A, permit summary for May 2025. And item J, number 9, we're adding number 9, review and consideration of update to signage to incorporate new township logo. If there's no discussion, I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda with the additions.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
All in favor by saying aye? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item E, we have a list of guest speakers tonight. We'll start with Jerry Philippek. He's a CPA of Philippek and Company. Welcome, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
How's everybody doing tonight? Well, yep, my name is Jerry Philippek, CPA with Philippek and Company. We were asked to provide a proposal for accounting support services, accounting and bookkeeping support services for the township. And we did send over a proposal. I'm sure you have it. If you don't, I have copies. If you need it. All right. A little bit about me, a little bit about Philippek and Company. Well, first of all, your day-to-day point person, should we be awarded a contract, would be Liz Hunsinger. Liz and I visited a couple weeks ago with Angela and Sarah and Lynn, who's retiring. It's too bad she's retiring, by the way. But that's okay. Liz and I both have similar educational backgrounds. We both have undergrad degrees in accounting. We both have MBAs in finance. Well, she went to Walsh College. I went to Wayne State. Liz chose the private accounting route. I chose the public accounting route. And but only after 6 years, I left a major accounting firm and went to private myself. Basically, between the two of us, we've got so many years of practical experience, and that's what distinguishes us from other firms. We offer pragmatic solutions, and without the high and mighty AICPA rhetoric. Okay? We have clients, we started Philippek and Company in 2007 after spending 30 years or so in private accounting, working for major real estate developers here in Southeast Michigan as their chief financial officer. My son and I started Philippek and Company in 2007, and for 18 years we've been building the business. Sadly, my son left us in 2021, but his legacy lives on and the business continues to grow. So I just wanted to mention that when you're looking at that proposal, please note that it's our intention to provide accounting support services only. We're not here to recreate the world or set policy or change what's been done already. We're going to need certain access, but we're basically operating as needed on call. The only things that we're contemplating doing without being called upon is to gain knowledge of the system. Take a look at the books and records and get a working knowledge of that. And also, we want to maintain a very cordial and open relationship with UHY, with your auditors. The one thing we want to be sure of is that we're not doing anything or we're not directing anything that would cause UHY any consternation in the audit. I don't think we're going to, but an open line of communication is essential. And that's about all I have. That's us in a nutshell. Questions, comments, concerns?
Anybody got any questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jerry. Number 2 is John Johnson of Nickel and Saff. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Good evening, everybody. How are we?
Good, how are
Hanging
you?
in there.
Doing well, doing well. So I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to come up here and speak in regards to Nickel and Saff and myself. Nickel and Saff was established in 1929. We've been in the municipal industry for about 45 years now. And in doing so, we have a wide range of clientele. Anywheres from the 3rd largest county in the state of Michigan, Macomb County, to as small as an account that ranges in $3,000 of premium. So we have a great understanding of the intergovernmental relationships and the relationships that you guys have with third-party vendors and contractors. And in doing so, when I was brought in here, I did a overview of your current policies and was able to provide you with a proposal. And that proposal was, or is, within this binder. Okay? So I'm going to briefly highlight some things pertaining to what I'm proposing here for you. The front page is enhancements. So this is what separates Nickel and Saff from other agencies. We provide reimbursement or partial reimbursement for certain classes or things of your nature. I noticed that obviously you guys have something on the agenda today for the MTA to pay for that. We are keystone providers for them as well. So we're very in the mix of what's going on with all the townships. We read the documents that come out every single day or every other day pertaining to the laws that are going on in Lansing, and we keep the townships that we have under our purview abreast of those things as well. So the most recent one was a document for veterans that came out. And it's a poster that you guys should be having in your township that I would be able to present to you, but it was on the MTA website. We printed those out for all of our municipalities and private sector as well, and provided it to them for free. So that's an added enhancement for you guys. We create seminars and other things. So if you have a hot topic that you need to work on or feel as though everybody in your township should get educated on, we'd be more than willing to bring in a speaker for you guys that is keen on those things and provide you with the knowledge of that. We do have access to a great professional grant writer. I was speaking with Mr. Abbey earlier about the grant that was just provided to the county chair, which we are located in Mount Clemens. It was in excess of $850,000, and our grant writer was the one to write that. There was only 6 presented in the state, and she wrote 2 of the 6 that were granted in the state. Here's key points that I need to point out to you is the policies and procedures that we have to be able to update yours. Those come free of charge. We can sit down and work with you to enhance those, or we can just provide them to you and you do it at your will. We're not going to force anything upon you. We're here to help establish things that aren't already in place and update things that are already in place for you. We will conduct appraisals for you free of charge as well. I don't know when the last time appraisals were done, but those are major factors to keep the blanket replacement cost in place for your properties. Blanket replacement cost is the total amount of coverage that you have for your properties, and no matter if this building is worth $1 million or $2 million, whatever you have it listed for, we will give you the full amount back to replace this if it's underinsured. So that's a major factor for you. Here's what will delineate us as well. As I spoke about in the beginning, the relationships that you have with other governments and or vendors. So Marine City Area Fire Authority, they're a client of ours. You guys have a relationship with them. They do a lot of your runs. We would be able to read through that contract, make sure everything's up to date. You get the insurance from them. It would be coming straight from my office, so it would be done correctly for you, and all of that stuff would be taken care of. And then obviously we have access to a human resource company as well, which we can give you access to. Getting into the nuts and bolts of the policy that I'm presenting, it's with a company called Glatfelter. They're a nationwide insurance company. They handle a lot of municipalities, over 14,000 of them in the United States. Our annual premium is roughly $17,293. This is matching the limits of liability insurance that you currently have of $4 million. We do have an aggregate, which will be touched on, and an aggregate of the $6 million limit is nowhere near breaching the loss runs that you guys provided to me. I believe the largest claim that you had was $25,000, and that was a personal property claim. So a $6 million aggregate, we have never seen in the 40-plus years that we've been doing municipal insurance, somebody breach that aggregate limit. Pertaining to statutory coverages, we're providing position bonds for the clerk, deputy clerk, treasurer, and deputy treasurer. These are in accordance to state statutes 41.69 and 41.77. The statute does not state a specific amount needs to be procured. It only states you need to procure these. So that's what we've done for you. There was nothing in your bylaws or policies and procedures stating that on a certain amount needed to be done as well. So we've.
I thought it's a certain, like for me, it's a certain percentage of the tax roll.
So that's for your county.
Okay,
So when your county, St. Clair County, comes to you, that's a different bond. And we also would help the county if they didn't already procure
Okay.
those types of things. This is in accordance to the township for yourself.
okay.
Yes. Great question, by the way.
So that would be, okay, so it'd be in addition to the ones that are already posted for
Yes,
the
so those
county.
are in the protection of the county's relationship with you.
Okay.
Now, who is covered? Obviously, anybody within the governing body, your boards, commissions, elected, appointed officials, any employees, volunteers acting on behalf of the township itself. All liabilities are written on a occurrence basis and have a $0 deductible. That's a major factor there. You have a $0 deductible on all of your liabilities. The liabilities are general liability, public officials, employment practice, and auto liability. Auto liability also includes hired and non-owned coverage. That coverage is for you individuals that are not driving a government vehicle but are coming to and from work. If you get into an accident because you were coming to the office here, we would cover you for that. Our insurance steps up and takes care of those things for you. Defense expenses are outside of the limits of liability. So they will not erode or take away from that $4 million that I talked about earlier. And on top of that, each one of the liabilities that I stated, the general, public, employment, and auto, are separate and distinct checkbooks. So a general liability claim, like a slip and fall or property damage to other people's property, would not take away from an auto liability claim that you have. Let's go through to the point 6 for you. You have full $4 million limits of sewer backup coverage. So you're probably thinking, well, we don't have our own water plant or anything like that. You guys have lift stations. So water is transmitted to you, and then you guys transmit that water to others. So if one of those lift stations goes down and it damages somebody's basement, water comes out of their sink and it damages their updated kitchen. Well, you guys have coverage for that, and up to $1 million, or up to $4 million, excuse me. Your property coverage is on a $1,000 deductible, and your inland marine coverage is on a $1,000 deductible, and we are offering payment plans for you. So you do not need to pay this $17,000 in whole. If you guys do not want to, if you would like to, that's more than acceptable. There's options for you. Markets that we have, we're not just a one company place. We have multiple carriers that we rely upon to provide municipal insurance since we've been in the industry for so long. And we touched base with Trident, and Trident did provide a quote for you, but it was a little bit higher, and I didn't feel as though proper to put it in here for you, so I just told you the amount of $20,006. And that's due to the $25,000 property claim that you had most recently. It shot up their property coverage percentage a little bit higher than traditional. So they were out of the mix for that. Liberty Mutual is a company that deals more along the sides of a larger municipality and travelers as well. So I did touch base with both of them, and they declined to provide a competitive proposal. So overview here. What do you guys need to consider? What's going on? What thought processes should you have? Well, we're going to offer something in regards to cyber and data compromise coverage. That's not included in the proposal here, but could be. We could also work with you to get MFA. We'll directly correspond with your cyber insurance company. I've been doing this a lot lately for other municipalities so they can get up to date with what you guys need to function in the perfect world, per se. MVR reports. I know that you only have one vehicle and pretty much one person is driving that vehicle, but it's pertinent that you order your MVR reports to know if that person has a clean driving record or has some things on his driving record. What you don't want is somebody driving around that has some problems in different ways, shapes, or forms, let's say. I talked about the policies and procedures. We can implement the internet use and social media use. We can go through your regular other policies and update those as well if you need. And then implementing of a employee handbook. All of these things are what we ask when we go through the questionnaire process. Are these in place? Now, they don't have to be in place. You don't get knocked down. Your price doesn't go up because you don't have them. But again, this is all in a perfect world for you. And that's what we're here to do. We're not just here to provide insurance if something goes wrong. We're here to enhance the township. I want to leave this better than I found it. That's my goal. So, and then we can implement background checks on all new hires. I know that the turnover rate isn't that great here, but still it's nice to have this in place if you guys do have somebody new come into play. Regarding a couple policies that are in force right now that I did not put into the proposal would be the workers' compensation. Through accident fund, we would do an AOR-BOR, which means an agent of record or broker of record on that. And then your Provident policy, which is a volunteer policy for your people, and I believe it's based upon the board. And we would also be doing an AOR-BOR with that, which just means putting it under our name because we feel as though those two companies are the best ones to utilize. Servicing, we talked about where we're located. It's Mount Clemens, the county chair from Macomb County. We do a lot of business in St. Clair County as well, Oakland County, Wayne County, and I can keep going up here all around. But we take care of about 55 to 60% of St. Clair County. If you look to the neighbors behind you, if you look to the neighbors in front of you, if you look to the neighbors north of you, they're our clients. So, other than that, I pretty much touched on everything that I wanted to and went through the highlights for you, made sure that all the points were made. So are there any questions that I may answer, anything that I can elaborate on for you or provide greater details of?
Yeah, can you talk a little bit more about the grant writer? Is that like
Yes.
a paid service that we would have to?
So we make the introduction for you, essentially. There is an initial upfront cost that we cover. It's for loss prevention for you. So we would be taking care of that. And then if you like the services that this person offers, if you feel as though it's going to be a great match between you and them, we'll pay for the initial cost, and then you guys go forward and deal with the rest of the relationship, essentially. Yes. In terms of the grants that other, let's say, pools offer, like MML and those types of things, we don't traditionally offer those types of grants because we're not a pool. We're an independent agency. Mm-hmm. So when I said I have more access to other carriers, when you deal with a pool, you only really have access to that carrier. The way that we do our grants is more along the lines of loss prevention. So you need something for your playground because the wood chips have been going awry and you gotta redo that because it probably should be about a foot for playground safety, you know? Touch base with us and see if we can offer some sort of grant reimbursement for those loss prevention so you don't have children out there tripping and falling because it's not up to date or under proper protocols per se. So, yes. Any additional questions that I may answer for you?
I have no questions. You know, we spoke quite a bit over the last couple of months, so yeah,
Yes.
no, I am, pretty satisfied with what you've provided, and, you know,
I did have one.
oh, go ahead.
Okay.
Please do, Sarah.
So you had mentioned that you would help us update any policies that we need help updating.
Of course.
Is that a service that's already wrapped into this, or is that an additional cost too?
So everything on the front page of the enhancements that are available for you are all wrapped into the price.
Okay.
So there's one municipality that I take care of in Lenawee County, and when I walked in there, it was a absolute disaster to say, nonetheless. No names here, nothing like that. Initially went through and wiped out their whole policies and procedures and redid everything for them. Then we had Corporation Council double check to make sure that what we did was proper. Corporation Council went through, accepted it, board accepted it, and we were good to go. And then I started making my rounds for them and doing other things that were necessary to make it better for the city itself.
Okay.
Yes.
And then what about like the, can you touch on the HR services?
Yeah,
You had-
yeah. So you probably have been reading the paper a lot lately, and maybe there's a reporter or two in here, but, yeah, you know, you've heard from other municipalities that, people are saying certain things that they shouldn't be saying on the internet. We can come in here and help with that. There was a township out in Macomb County, that particularly had one of their department heads going on a huge rant, on social media, and they probably shouldn't have, and they were looking to be fired. So what we did to save their job was created a seminar and had a professional come in, flew him in from out of state, and they took care of it and actually got that guy to keep his job, and his tenure is still there going strong. So that's one thing. Another thing is updating, obviously, like I talked about, your policies and procedures. And then anything else related to HR that you would have, how to deal with a termination of somebody. We'd be able to assist you with those things or point you in the correct direction for that. So, yes,
Okay, thank you.
of course.
Anybody else? Thank you, John.
Of course, my pleasure. Thank you.
All right, and who is next? Number 3. Miss Linnea McFadden of the Friends of the St. Clair River. Thanks for coming.
Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. I do have a handout, if you'd like it.
Yep.
And I brought extras, so in case anybody in the audience here would like a copy, I'll put it over there.
Thank you.
This handout just really briefly summarizes the Cottrellville Shoreline Project, Park Restoration Project. Yes, absolutely. There you go. Yeah, anybody else? You're welcome. I'll put the rest over here. I'll include my business cards with them. So, hello and thank you for having me. My name is Linnea McFadden, and I am here with my work partner, Taylor, over there in the corner. So, we are with Friends of the St. Clair River. It's the largest environmental nonprofit in the Thumb region with a mission to protect and restore the St. Clair River and its watershed through community education, environmental monitoring, hands-on stewardship, and advocacy. Now, we work with municipalities up and down the St. Clair River and around multiple communities to restore and enhance critical habitat features, including multiple shoreline stability projects, rain gardens to purify stormwater runoff and keep our drinking water clean, and protect our public forest spaces and other open spaces from invasive species that might threaten the ecology of the area. So one such big environmental undertaking that we took part in was restoring shoreline habitat along the St. Clair River. This took place between about 2007 to 2014. And 9 habitat sites were identified on the U.S. side of the river to restore and enhance shoreline habitat and stability. I mean, it doesn't take but a drive up and down the river, or on either by car or by boat, to know what the shoreline generally looks like, right? It is steel seawall. Well, we were looking to try to enhance that. And there were 9 parcels along the St. Clair River that could use a little help. Well, Cottrellville Shoreline Park back in 2014 was one such site. And in doing so, we replaced 400 feet of failing steel seawall and replaced that with cobblestone, woody structures, native vegetation, and a small natural sandy beach. So large boulders were also placed in the river to provide in-water habitat for small fish, turtles, amphibians, waterfowl, wading birds, I mean, you name it. The park also now provides resident access to the water that wasn't there before, right? Resident access before was, you had to jump over a seawall, right? And a failing steel seawall at that. That's not access. But now they have this easy access. They have this natural shoreline beach that people can wade, kayak, fish. You know, kids can swim if they want. It's a really, really neat addition to this park. Well, as anyone who has a garden, or shoot, perhaps even your yard understands, maintenance is imperative to keeping any area looking nice. And hats off to the township. Every time I drive past, it's beautifully mowed. I see people using it. I see kids playing on it. It's beautifully, the park mowed area is beautifully maintained. But the shoreline habitat that was put in, instead of that seawall, it could use a little love, right? It could use a little of attention. And that's where Friends of the St. Clair River come in. So we plan to work with the community to identify and remove invasive species that are now coming in and threatening that park. We'll boost habitat diversity by identifying and planting additional native wildflowers and shrubs. Now, native is important. Not only do they produce pretty blooms and beautify the park, the most important thing about native plants is they have really deep root systems. That root system holds the soil in and prevents erosion. So it'll keep your park where it is instead of washing down the river, right? So it's really important that we identify those plants that would be best suited for that area. But most importantly, our job is to educate community members on maintenance techniques, management techniques for both the good and the bad plants, so that the community can come together to really help create a showpiece for the township in this park. So our first stewardship workday is this Thursday, June 19th, from 10 in the morning until 12. We encourage any and all community members to come join us. We will start by taking a short walk around the park. I'll tell you a little bit about the history. We'll look at its features, and then we'll start identifying invasive plants. We'll teach community members how to safely and effectively remove them, and then we'll look at the native plants that are there. We'll look at their features, their importance to that area, and even look for ways that this park can be enhanced by potentially additional plantings or amenities. We plan to do work days once a month because, well, first things first, invasive species are aggressive and relentless. So you have to keep on those suckers, right? And secondly, native plants, just like the plants in your garden, native plants bloom at different times. So by going in monthly, we can get a better idea of what's there and what can be added to further enhance this park. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to contact me or my colleague Taylor. Taylor will be with me at the first meeting we have on Thursday. And then the park, Taylor's going to take the program off and running. She's our watershed educator, and so she's really looking forward to that education piece and working with the community in this. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to contact me, and I hope to see some familiar faces on Thursday.
I'll be there.
10 o'clock in the morning, from 10 until 12.
I look forward to it. Thank you guys so much for all
Thank
your
you.
help. Do you guys have any questions?
I can, certainly. Absolutely, sure.
So, all right, fantastic. Thank you, Linnea.
You're welcome, Greg.
All right, moving on to guest speaker number 4, Dustin Drabeck from Ducker Agency.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dustin Drabeck from the Ducker Agency. We've been fortunate to have the township as a legacy entity with the Michigan Power Plan for 40 years. 40 years, I'm sorry. I've been lucky to be the servicing agent for the last 7. The Michigan Power Plan is a municipal-based, entity-only program that is solely focused on your operations as an insurance carrier. We are specialized and broad in the ways that allow you to grow where you see fit to grow. We're also there for, the unknown. A lot of times when, a counterpart comes in and provides bids, you would think that there's a lot of animosity, and there's not. I appreciate having a spot check, essentially. What it does is it allows us, or it gives us a gauge, and I think to some degree John can agree with me about our servicing to the community as it's been over a handful of years. My goal every year is not to make money, it is to provide the best coverage we can give at the most reasonable price possible. With that standing and looking at, what we're providing with you today, we believe that the package that we put in front of you, matched with the services that are provided you on a free basis, make a wonderful package that we've been proud to, have in your guys' lap for the last 40 years. I have nothing negatively to say about Mr. Johnson's speech. I think you did a great job, and I think you made a lot of valid points. And the reason I can't say anything poor about it is because those services have been in place for you. You do have grants for your appraisal. You also have access to HR Muni. We also have a fantastic TCAP program, which is for either pre-approved trainings or trainings that you see fit for the progress of this community. Now, I can't necessarily say what those are, because if you have the idea and we can match that up with reducing a risk or liability, then that's what the TCAP program is for. We have a fantastic website that has Word documents ready to go that are policies and procedures that you can pull off and utilize right off the bat. And I say that confidently because we have a policy and procedure committee that meets twice per year based on the number of policies and procedures that we can present to you all, from general administration all the way down to law enforcement. All of these policies are reviewed within at least 17 months. Our boards are made up of professionals in terms of legal or department heads or individuals like yourself. So, they're real world, down to earth, layman's terms, policies and procedures that the everyday person can use. We've been proud. We service 265 entities in our agency. I will agree with John. There are a handful of counties that, yes, he has the higher percentage on than me. The St. Clair one was completely right. But I'm proud to say that, I'm happy to service, I service from Ann Arbor all the way up to the tip of the thumb. We've got a lot of great entities, and as, again, John pointed out, we've got really big, large ones in there, and then we've got little itty bitty ones in there. And so, my service and my access is, 24 hours a day. The care that we put into our townships is most important to us. And like you said, we just always appreciate the opportunity to come and speak with you all. Just to touch on, some brief couple of things, we're providing you a $4 million unaggregated liability limit. We are supplying general liability, public officials liability, and auto liability. Your auto deductibles are $1,000. Your overall property deductible, as well as your inland marine, is also $1,000 deductible there. We're offering just a little over $3 million in overall blanket value on your properties. And then, continuing from there, you have EDP, electronic data and processing. You have valuable papers and records, crime, and then you have the bonds for the positions that you guys currently have, which are included in the pricing, which is at the very back of the page. As John pointed out, there is a Provident package and a work comp policy that we also service for you. And again, can't fault them for what he said. They're fantastic companies that I'm sure he would agree with me saying that we really love working with them. They're a great product. The only other policy additionally that we have is a volunteer accident policy. The volunteer accident policy is in place for a medical coverage in the event that, a volunteer should need care. So we try to wrap up, the best possible package that we can for you all. That way, like you said, we're getting you taken care of like we had on some of the claims that we've had in the last couple of years, which we've been, more than happy to service. With that said, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
I don't have any questions at this time. I mean, I think they're gonna hang on. I mean, when we get to that agenda item, you guys are available to answer a couple questions if needed, or, okay, yeah, I don't have any questions at this time.
Thank you for having me again. I appreciate it.
Thanks. I take that back, I do have a question.
Okay.
No, I don't, I'll ask it later.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll ask it later.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And last but not least, we've got Russ DeCrease of Wind System. Last month we talked about Text My Gov and Gov something, and Lisa did a lot of research and talked to Russ from Winds, and Russ was available to come to talk to us today, so.
Hi, I'm Russ DeCrease. I'm a Homeland Security Planner with St. Clair County Homeland Security and Emergency Management. First of all, let's get a couple things completely out of the way. We are grant funded. We never charge any community, any first responder agency, anything. We are grant funded and we're self-sufficient. Second thing is, we don't come with bags of money. We would love to help out with a lot of different things, but we're not that part of, although we're funded in some ways by FEMA, we don't have FEMA's money. I was asked to come talk about the WIN system, the Warning Information Notification System. It's actually been in the county since 2014, and it's been used in this county and in this township several times a year. Everybody probably hates the voice. This is a non-emergency message from the St. Clair County. Yeah, that's us. We put it out for all of the tornado warnings, the severe thunderstorm if it's going to be above 70 miles an hour. We also put out alerts when you were having flooding on the waterfront, things of that nature. We have a few different levels that we're able to put out notifications for. The first one is, I'll say it's the equivalent of a Amber Alert. It's the same system. We don't put out Amber Alerts, that's Michigan State Police, but we put out the equivalent where we can hit every cell phone in a specified area. Obviously, that requires pretty high sign-offs, and we only do that in true life and safety. For instance, when we had the train wreck in the tunnel up in Port Huron, a couple of hazardous material releases, that's when we're going to use that capability. The other thing is we have just about everybody's phone number in the county. Any cell phone, any voice over IP, anybody who still has a landline left. The only ones that we really can't hit are the people who buy their minutes at a gas station. The only way to hit those is if we go full bore with the iPaws. That's the only way we can hit those. Third thing that we do is we can do a lesser notification where we're not hitting everybody. We can actually draw a circle around a block. We send out boil water alerts, or if the water's gonna be down and you're gonna be working on it, chances are you're gonna have to have a boil water when it comes back up. We can put that up and we can hit probably about 95% of the residents. That capability has existed for the past decade. I'm not sure if anybody here still has the contact information. If somebody wants to contact me afterwards, I can give you the right cell phone numbers. That is 24/7. We can put those out. I know that you were also talking about trying to hit some residents and have more interaction with residents. We can discuss that. I can give you an idea of what some of the other communities do. And it's not life and safety, but it's something where people definitely want to get the messages.
Right.
For instance, we have Harson's Island. When the ferry's getting shut down for the weather, we allow them to send out those notifications to the people who signed up for it. A couple of municipalities have crossing guards for schools. They can send it out saying, hey, you know, we're closing down for the day, you know, don't show up. Council on Aging, you know, they use the system saying, hey, we're not doing Meals on Wheels, because they will wait at the door. So those are the type of things. I don't know exactly what type of public outreach you are looking at or looking for, but we can discuss that at any point in time. And as long as it is something that rises above what you would normally put in a newsletter, we can probably work something out. And again, there's no cost for anything we do.
Perfect. Yeah.
So that's, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was thinking back, I'm looking at the website for Marine City. So there was a sign up, and then you can choose the level of communication you want, correct? If you want it to
Oh,
be-
absolutely. When the people go on the website, they can put in whatever communication device they want. They can do email, phone, text message. You can even do TTY for the hearing
like
impaired.
what I meant was you were saying the level of the, you know, whatever was going on, if you wanted to be known about water alerts or anything like that, you could choose that, right? Or am I thinking about that wrong?
You are correct, but
Okay.
what we basically deal with is life and safety.
Right.
And if we have your phone number and it's a boil water alert, that's a safety issue. We're going to call your phone.
Okay.
If it's a tornado warning, if it's, you know, something that rises to the level where it actually is safety, we're going to ring your phone.
Okay.
The only question mark would be, hey, the water's gonna be shut off for 2 days in a certain area. We can probably send that out, but it's not gonna probably reach to that level. It'd be only people who chose that.
Okay. So it looked like Marine City had your, I don't know if it was your logo and then a link for people to sign up. That's how it.
Correct, yeah, we had asked all the townships and cities to do that back in 2014 when we started the system.
Okay.
Because, again, although we have 90% of the phone numbers, it's always good to fill in, especially those people who may have a voice over IP phone that they got over the internet, or they went over to Canada to the last Radio Shack in existence and picked it up.
Right.
We may not be able to hit it, and if they sign up, we can actually hit it, because that's of course our interest.
Would it also be somebody that's new to our community? Or do you go by address? You know, like if I just moved here from Macomb County, let's say, would you be able to contact me? Or,
It depends on which level we're talking about. If we're talking about iPaws, it doesn't care who you are.
okay,
If you are within a certain area that we draw on the map, we hit you.
okay,
If it is the ones where we have the voice over IP and the cell phone numbers and this, that, and the other, that gets updated once a year. So for 9 months, you may not be on the system, but after that, you would be.
Awesome. Anybody have any other questions? We'll talk more, because I definitely am, I think we're gonna start utilizing, so I wanna get with you and we'll figure out where we'll start utilizing, because I don't think Cottrellville's really utilized the system to its full potential, and
Right. I've never sent out a boil water alert. I'm sure you've had one.
oh yeah.
I know we sent one out for the, like I said, when we had the flooding, what was that, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah,
But we did that at a county level because it was affecting probably about 6 communities down.
right. Yeah, no, I think we need to start utilizing it. I think, I don't know if we put the link back on the new website, is it?
I didn't see it.
No, we'll have to add that back onto our new website and then promote that. But yeah, I think we're gonna start utilizing you some more, so I'll hit you up in the coming days and, see what exactly we can tailor and go from there.
Sounds great, thank you.
I appreciate the presentation, I appreciate your time, thank you so much.
Thank you, Russ.
Okay, all right. That was the last one on the list for the guest speakers. Thank you guys all for coming and talking.
Thank you.
We will move on to the consent agenda. Yes, item F. Oh, let me put this back over here. I'm gonna read through this quick. We're about 45 minutes in. All right, number one, approval of the Township Board minutes from the regular meeting of Wednesday, May 14th, 2025 at 7:30 PM. Approval of the Treasurer reports, reconciliation of tax account 0413 for March, April, and May of 2025. Item B, reconciliation of the general checking numbers 4183 for March, April, and May of 2025. Item number C, cash summary report by accounts as of March 2025, April 2025, and May 2025. And item D, Cottrellville Township investments reports as of May 2025. Number three, approval of clerk's reports. Item number A, revenue and expenditure report for May 2025. Item number B, approval of paychecks, payroll dates for February.
It's not February, I'm sorry, I
Oh.
apologize.
Sorry, so that's for May.
It's May.
May 2025, for the net total amount of $26,624.23. Paychecks direct deposited number 398 through 431, and check number 3828 through 3829. Item C, approval of accounts payables. There's nothing,
Also May.
that should be May. Nothing open for May. That's a good thing. Item number two, $273,728.22, already paid, 40 checks. Numbers 22,608 through 22,639, and electronic funds transfers 355 through 362. Item number three, $2,422.71, two tax disbursements. Item number four, $276,150.93, for a total of 42 grand total payments, or payables. Number four, correspondence, the Marine City Fire Authority runs. We had, let's see, 13, 16, 17, 18 runs, 13 medical emergencies, 3 down lines, 1 motor vehicle accident, and 1 carbon monoxide alarm for Marine City. And then item B, letter from assessor Barb Shute regarding lots 4, or L4029-2025 tax rate request form and documentation. All right. Okay, this is the letter. Is there any questions on that letter? Were we supposed to vote on something? No? Okay. They're the same as last year, we're in the okay. Yeah, it just talks about everything. For the tax request form that goes to the county. If there's no questions on that, I'll entertain a motion to approve, the consent agenda.
I'll motion to approve the agenda.
You can go ahead.
Did we get a second?
Sorry.
I'll second, yeah.
Oh, all right. All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg?
Yes.
Angela, yes. Sarah?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
All right. Motion carries. Moving on to item G, the open session. Is there anybody that wishes to address the board regarding the agenda, the following agenda items? You can do so at this time. I open that up at 8:19. Anybody, any questions?
Is any new business?
Yes.
Yeah, anything in the new business? If there's nobody to talk on the new,
You know what, what are we doing about Star Bill and Shay, please?
I'll address that. That'll be under, I'll do my board comments and announcements. So, cause that one's technically not on the agenda. But, yeah, I'll address that.
Thank you.
If there's no one else for open session, I will close the open session at 8:20. And I'll move on to the board committee and department reports. We have one report, from the building department. We had 18 permits total with, building, mechanical, and plumbing, or building mechanical, which includes electrical, plumbing.
Second page. with
Yep,
more
and then there's
information.
second page, yep. We had, 4 blight letters for property maintenance, 4 people got their first notice. We had 3 10-day notice letters sent out. Those will be the final letters for those 3 people before we, initiate the new process of writing municipal civil infraction tickets. That took effect on June 7th. So, if you got one of those letters, tickets are forthcoming. If you don't correct your situation, our code enforcement building official is on top of that. So that covers the reports. Anybody have any questions on any of the reports? If not, we'll move on to unfinished business. Item number 1 is the proposal from TextMyGov and other competitors. We had GoGov and then TextMyGov. We wanted to hear from WINS. I think if there's no discussion on it, I'd really basically like to table it, give WINS a shot, see if they meet our needs. You know, let's revisit this in, I don't know, does anybody have a recommendation, like 3-4 months, 3 months, next
Well,
quarter?
I was wondering if, we should promote it and see, I think he told me, and I know he's gone, but, I think Russ had said that, he can track how many people are actually signing up and
Yeah,
are part of
I-
that, so maybe
I-
in 6 months or something, we wanna revisit that.
Yeah, I mean, 6 months is good. I'll promote it on Facebook,
Yeah.
you know, and he actually recommended, you know, trying to put some information out on Nextdoor. I don't use that,
Yeah.
but I mean, I guess I can. It's one more thing that I can put information out on.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to make a motion, I'll make a motion to table it for 6 months, so we would revisit that. Would that be December meeting? Revisit in December and see how the WINS is doing, and if we have to look back at TextMyGov or GoGov. So I make a motion to revisit in December meeting.
I'll second.
All in
Who
favor,
was the second? I'm sorry.
Me.
Okay.
all in favor by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Unfinished business, the park building project. I've secured additional funds. I was 18,000 short, and we are able to get our this year's county grant money for the Parks and Rec, our share of the millage, this year instead of waiting till February, January. We already had our audit done. That'll come up later on. So I'm going to apply this year's funds from the yearly appropriations to the park building. That makes up the $18,000 difference. And we've re-put it out for bid. We had 3 bids on the project. They ranged between 145 and 197, with the difference, the one being 197 included electrical insulation and sheeting the inside ceiling and building a dividing wall for the fire truck. It wasn't, the electrical and the insulation and the HVAC was not included in the paragraph that went to BidNet. So I've notified the other 2 builders that put in a bid to give them an opportunity to add those to their bid. I'd like to revisit that I'd like to look at those bids. They've got 2 weeks. We'll open them. I'd like to look at them when they come in. You know, we'll open them. You guys can review the bids. And I'd like to, probably approve that at the next board meeting so that, somebody can get started on building this building. We're gonna create a new fund that'll be next month, but, yeah, I mean, we're in good shape. I'm also finishing the grant for T-Mobile. I will apply that's gotta be done by June 30th. All I've got left to do, I had a video made tonight in the park, of the park, kids playing soccer. I'm gonna add that in, and hopefully by Wednesday next week, I'll have that grant submitted, and we'll know mid-August. And that'll just be an additional $50,000 that we're asking for, that would offset either the Parks and Rec Fund or the general fund money that we've already designated to the building. So, can I have a motion to table that till next month?
I'll motion to table that until next month.
Yeah, I'll second.
Oh, okay. All in favor by saying aye? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Fantastic. On to new business. I'm gonna try and rattle through these. Oh, we're gonna have some discussion though. Item number 1 is the request to approve the establishment of accounting and bookkeeping services with Philpeck and Company LLC. Jerry presented earlier, in preparation for the upcoming retirement of Marilyn DeLuigi, the township's current accountant. Is there any questions? If there's no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the establishment of hiring Philpeck and Company.
A motion.
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg?
Yes.
Angela, yes. Sarah? Yes. Chris?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 2, request to approve the proposal presented by Supervisor Abbey for the new park girls for a maximum amount of $2,000, including a decision on which option best meets the park's needs. What I was looking at, we got a call one day that one of the girls was on the ground. And was it you and I that went out to the park? Yeah, Chris and I went out there to see if we could fix it, because I thought maybe it just rested on the pole and it fell off. Well, no, they're flat pieces and they're supposed to be welded on, but they're old and rusty. There's 3 grills at one pavilion and none at another. So if you look at what I wrote, I've looked up some prices and, I've proposed some grills. Option 1 is 1 small grill at each pavilion. That'd be the cheapest way to go. So the total estimated cost for 2 units, and they're only like 300 square inches. They're not very big. Pretty much the same size of the 3 that are out there now. They run between $300 and $350. So the total estimated cost for 2 units is between $600 and $700. Option 1A is 2 small grills at each pavilion, which would put us at a total cost of $1,200 to $1,400. And then option 2 is 1 larger grill, which is almost double the size of the smaller ones. They got 2 sides to them, so one person could be grilling on one half, the other on the other half, or if one big event can use 1 big grill. So it's a little bit bigger. Those cost a little bit more, between $600 and $700. So the cost to buy the grills would be between $1,200 and $1,400, depending on which company we go with, which grill we go with. And those are the costs of the units. I'm estimating, I've looked at some of the shipping, and it can be as much as $400 just for the shipping. But if I can get that cut down a little bit, with shipping and installation, for option 1 is about $1,100. Adding 2 grills at each pavilion is $1,800. And option 2, having 1 big grill at each pavilion is about $1,800. So they need to be replaced. All 3 of them are bad and rusted. They'll have to pull the poles out. I mean, the kids, I think the kids that are out there playing,
That's what I was gonna ask.
they're knocking them off. And, they're just playing. They're not doing it intentionally. I mean, they need to be replaced. There is 1 new grill in the garage, but there's no pipe for it. So it's got a thing, but there's no pipe for it to sit on, because these grills spin 360.
And it won't fit on the pole.
It won't fit on the poles that's out there, so I can't find the pole that goes with the new grill that's in the box in the garage. I found it during the spring cleanup. I threw a bunch of garbage way out of the garage, and I sent Angela a picture. I said, I found a new grill. But I really think we should add these new grills, whether it's one, two, one at each pavilion. I don't know why there's 3 at one pavilion and none at the other.
And I will say that, in my opinion, I mean, we typically only ever have one rental of one pavilion at a time, so I don't see a use for 2 grills at a pavilion at all, let alone 3. So my suggestion and my vote would go to option number 2, of a large grill at each pavilion and just be done with it.
I'm kinda in that too.
And this price includes the installation, you said?
No, I just like everything else, I'll be installing. I can get some volunteers.
On a volunteer basis.
Yeah, unless somebody, anybody, the residents wanna come help me do some stuff, I'm gonna be
I'll
putting,
send Joey to help you.
I'm gonna be putting some cement down for the bench and some other things. And then I'm gonna be, on the 19th, during park cleanup day, I've got, one of the residents has given me access to a 2-man auger. So I'm hoping I can get somebody to come help me auger the holes for the new informational signs. There's a couple one for each pavilion, one big sign I think is gonna replace the white one that's out there now. And then we got a bigger one for the river park. I'm gonna do that on the 19th. I'm gonna auger the holes, set the signs on that day. I don't think I'll have the grills by next Thursday, but I'm sure I can get access to that auger again to auger the poles, cement the poles in, and put the new grills in. I don't have a problem doing that stuff. I'm out there doing that kind of stuff anyway.
Are those the new grills, the similar type that are out there, it's open top?
Yeah, they're open top, they're adjustable. I mean, there's several different options, but they're all basic park grills.
Right.
So the grates are all pretty much the same. They're adjustable, just like the ones that are out there.
Well, the fastest thing to go on those are the grates.
What's
The
that?
fastest thing to go on those are the grates, they run.
Yeah. Well,
There'll be
there's
some type of maintenance.
I did see one that had the stainless steel, which I really liked, and I'm waiting to get the price on that one. It has the stainless steel grate, but it's the heavy duty box.
Right.
So I'm waiting for the quote on that, but I really think that option 2, and that's for the 640 square inch one, it will fit into that price range. So yeah, I mean, if somebody wants, if you guys like the one big grill at each pavilion, somebody just needs to make a motion for option 2, and.
And that's your opinion too, is the big one?
What's that?
That's your opinion too, you think?
Yeah, I like the idea of the one bigger one, because it's like 340 inches, those grills are only like that big, so you're cooking like 3 hamburgers or 4 hot dogs on it. I mean, they're not very big. The 640 is a little bit bigger, so.
I'm for option 2.
I'll make the motion to spend a maximum amount of $2,000 on option 2.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Okay, Greg,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Motion carries. All right, request to approve the policy on purchasing supplies and equipment. I'll let you guys handle that one.
This is just a policy, internally for, who's allowed to make purchases and buy office supplies, stuff like that. And so it's basically putting it that Angela and I are the only ones that are able to approve any purchases and make them.
So we would approve them, I mean, we could always give, someone authority to make the purchase on our
Yes.
behalf, but
You have to approve.
it has to come through a department head, not just.
I
And
like it.
Angela made this new beautiful supply order
I like it, yeah.
to go to all the different departments.
Which is a fillable form that they
Yes.
can email to and from, whatever, so.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea. I mean, that limits, does that still limit Nick on his ability, or is that just basically office supplies? It
No,
doesn't?
this
This is just office supplies.
office
Okay.
supplies and office
Perfect, yeah, so
This is
Nick's
like
still in
printer
an emergency, he
paper,
can go
stuff
do
like
what
that.
he's gotta do. Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm good with that. So I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Lisa.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Forgot your name.
Item number 4 is the request for board approval for me to sign off on the 2025 St. Clair County Parks and Rec request for a local millage distribution. Again, I'm requesting, it's 20,000 something this year, so it's a little bit more than the 19.
19,000, oh, right down here.
I thought, yeah,
29.86.
Yeah, there was another grant in there, so
so, yeah, it's that's the revenue.
20,986.
Yeah. So, oh wait, that was, yeah, okay. No, right here it is, Cottrellville, $20,433, sorry, page 2. That was what we got last year, was the grants and stuff, the 1,380. So yeah, it was $20,433 is our share this year. I've requested to use that towards the new park building. I just need you guys' approval that that's good. The county parks have looked at it. Once we approve it, then I can sign it and send it to them. And they don't have a meeting in July, and their meeting is tonight as well. So we won't get the funds till August, but we're good to go from there. So, I'll entertain a motion to approve the Parks and Rec request.
I'll make the motion to approve Supervisor Abby to sign off on this request.
Do I have a second? All in favor by roll call vote?
Greg,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Lisa.
Motion carries.
I know you didn't hear that, but she did say yes.
Oh, okay. I'm
I brought
sorry.
my hearing aids tonight, they're on my
You gotta
desk.
yell for God.
Number 5, request to review and make a determination on the application for utility billing adjustment. Let's see, get to the next page. All right, we have Judy Kitchening, is it Kitching? Otherwise, Carolyn Perkins. Oh, cousin of Judy Kitchen, who's the resident owner of the home on 427 Little Avenue. She began to help out her cousin with her finances and get her bills in order when she had allowed to fall behind the loss of her loved one in November. In reviewing the water bills, it was apparent that there was a leak occurring in Q1 of 2025. Judy confirmed that she knew there was a leak. Perhaps she learned of it from the township, I'm not quite sure. I spoke to Angela at the township to let her know that I was making arrangements to pay the bill in full and that the leak was repaired on May 16th. Judy came in and paid approximately $250 around mid-May, and final amount due is enclosed with the request today. The plumber provided an electronic receipt for $600 for the work he completed. There is no detail on the receipt. However, his name was Rick, and you may contact him to confirm. He said that the pipe burst under the house and water was spraying out into the ground. In addition, there was an electric heater plugged in under the house, running, and the cord was hanging in the wall. The water coming out of the leaking pipe was spraying on the heater. We are very lucky there wasn't a fire. He unplugged the heater and gave it to my cousin. All right, so due to the heater running under the house all this time, she racked up electric bills around $500 a month for 6 months. Wow. The service was turned off for non-payment. Another relative paid the delinquent amount, and she still has another $983 due for March and April. And May. Her water usage went from 4 units in Q4 to 14 units in Q1, and an unknown number for Q2. Any adjustment refund that the board can make on Judy's behalf for the Q1 and Q2 not yet received will be greatly appreciated. She will need to catch up on the delinquent bills with DTE. So my understanding that she has a hardship. I mean, is she having a hard time because she lost a loved one? Am I understanding that right?
I believe that, she was just, yes, in a hardship situation. Didn't realize it was leaking. These are the bills.
No, that's not it. That's MTA.
This is the bills here up to this
Right.
point. So everything is paid in full up to this point. But I mean, she went
From 4 to
from 4,
14.
yeah.
So yeah,
like
from,
here,
yeah.
went from, what is this, 2
Okay,
to,
oh, and then you
2
got
to
the-
3 to 5.
Yeah, to 14.
6, 4, 14, a big jump there, so. I mean, the unfortunate thing is that water ran through the meter, it was, you know,
Yep.
it's, we, you know,
Unfortunately, I don't think, I mean, as horrible as that is, and I feel bad for her, we can't
I-
put that on
I know,
to
'cause
the
we got,
taxpayers. So I think like what I was thinking is, which I wanted to ask Nick and know a little bit more about, is whether it was going into the sub pump, but I think it was said that there wasn't a sub pump.
can we table this until next month? Is this something that we need to make
I
a
mean-
decision on tonight?
no,
Because there's a couple programs that I've been looking into that might be able to help her with that. If we can revisit this next month?
And we've also,
I mean, she's already paid it, I mean, it's paid off, it's not like
No, she's just looking for credit.
she's waiting, yeah.
Ms.
I think
Upton,
we could maybe do something with like the sewer rate, because that's not something that we physically already paid for, but the water was already paid for, so I don't think there's anything that we can really,
we can't do anything on the water,
No.
but can we, you wanna talk to Nick and revisit this next month?
yes, I'd like to table this and.
I'll make a motion to table this till next month until we can get confirmation from Nick. If I can have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 6, request to approve payment of annual dues to Michigan Township Association for the amount of $3,473.05. We've been utilizing the MTA pretty regularly now. I know I'm on their website quite a bit. We can't go wrong with staying members. I'll entertain a motion to approve the payment.
A motion.
I'll second. All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Greg,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 7, request for approval to pay project control engineering for the months of March. Invoice number 21246-41 and April 2025 PC invoice 21246-42 regarding services rendered for the the Clean Water State Revolving Fund project from 2021, once it is dispersed from the state of Michigan for the total amount of $1,100. Man, we're getting down to the end. I actually had to call and ask them for this, and then they added another one on yesterday. But we're gonna cover the ones that they just requested, which are on that last invoice.
And the money already has been dispersed by the state of Michigan, we got it yesterday. or the day
Okay,
before,
so once we
whatever,
approve this,
so-
we can send that on, and
Right.
then next month, we'll have another $700 one. There's only a couple left. I mean, they're just waiting to finish one more lid, I think, and then do one final inspection, and that project should be closing out. So yeah, I'll entertain a motion to pay project control engineering.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor by roll call vote?
Greg,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 8, request to review and make a determination regarding township insurance company proposals submitted by Decker Agency and Nickel and Saf, Inc. I'll open up the discussion on that. You guys just got the power plants proposal, from the Decker Agency tonight. We've met with both John and Dustin. I keep wanting to say Derek because your last name's Dravic. Dustin. But you guys really didn't get a chance to meet with them. And then just getting the power plans tonight, I'd like you guys to take a look at that. Make sure you guys don't have any questions. And I hate to do this to you guys. But I would recommend that, once you guys have that, are they able to call you guys if they have any questions over the next week? I mean, I know we're on a deadline, we're looking at July 1st. So I don't wanna wait till next month's meeting, that's where I'm going with this, is I want you guys to be able to look at, compare, and then, call them with any questions. And, I hate to say it, I mean, is a week enough time for you guys to take a look at those and compare them, and then just get together for a quick
No.
minute?
Oh, sure.
Next
We need 2 weeks at least to,
2 weeks? Oh, we have to have 2 weeks in between meetings. So,
we don't, but no, it's more for us to get notice out to the public. That
Okay.
we have a special meeting and.
then, what I'm thinking is, in 2 weeks is the planning commission meeting on Wednesday, on the 25th. So,
Well, it doesn't have to be a Wednesday, right?
what's that?
You can be.
No, that's what I'm saying, I mean, and I don't wanna wait till the 30th. With the 26th,
No,
no?
I can't do the 26th, 23rd, 24th, or the 27th. I just
Is
can't do the
Monday at, say, what time, 6 o'clock? Monday the 23rd? Is 6 o'clock good enough for you, Chris? You got anything going on the 23rd?
I'm gonna bring something to your attention. Dustin and I will both be at Clay Township's meeting on Monday the 23rd,
Okay,
so we will not be able to be in attendance for that.
well, and that, I mean, you guys,
For your information, so if you do have any questions, I have my cell phone number, put it in there in the business
Yeah.
card, so you're more than
I'm
able.
the same way, I'm on the front cover with my email.
yeah, I mean, if you guys, we get the questions answered before then, and then we'll reconvene for, a quick vote, I know.
Okay,
I know I'm
special meeting
famous.
the 23rd.
The-
Motion to table until a special meeting on the 23rd
That works.
of June.
You made the motion?
Yes.
I'll second. All in favor by roll call vote?
Greg?
Yes.
Angela, yes. Sarah? Yes. Chris?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item number 9, review and consideration of the wait, did I skip anything? No, review and consideration of the update to the signage to incorporate the new township logo. I don't know if you guys all saw that. It was on the, we kinda updated the township logo, so I think, I'm good with updating the signage. It was, what was it, 1,500, where is that at?
So the sign company, they gave us a proposal, it was a total of $1,504.29 to do to redo the top portion of both sides of the sign to include the new logo
Yeah,
and installation of it, so.
I have a motion to approve. I got a super secret project I'm working on too. I wanna
So
get a
it's gonna
flag.
stay blue.
You have, would you?
Dot-
Just a quick question, where did we come up with the establishment of 1787?
Cottrellville was called Cottrellville actually, in 1784. No, it was 1787 when the Northwest Ordinance was passed. It was called Cottrellville and it included, Marine City, which was called.
Yeah, I know all of that it was, I just didn't know what precipitated that 1787 date, because George Cottrell moved here in 1781.
I think it couldn't be called Cottrellville until the Northwest Ordinance in 1787, which then designated us a territory.
And that was done under the French?
No, the Northwest Territory was done when Michigan became an actual territory of the United States at that time.
Okay.
And it was actually, it included Ohio, Indiana, and a bunch of other areas. And we were actually designated a township in 1822.
Yeah, I knew that was much later,
So-
that's why I questioned.
Right, but they called it Cottrellville in 1787.
Okay.
So yeah, it was, that's how we came up with it. I mean, they,
That's all I was wondering.
yeah, and then it actually encompassed Clay,
Oh, yeah,
China, East China, Newport, Algonac.
all of them.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
So,
all-
yeah, that's where but we were actually designated a township in 1822.
Yeah, and that's after
So-
the final, because nothing had been surveyed.
Right.
And I think it was based on an 1818 survey.
Right.
Completed.
Right. So, but yeah, 1787, they were calling it Cottrellville from the record book that I found.
Yeah. Like that.
I mean, unless did you know anything?
That's all I was looking for, is what basis you were
That's when they passed the Northwest
trying,
Ordinance.
making the identification. for.
Yep, yeah, that's when they passed the Northwest Ordinance, so that's when they were able to establish this as a territory, and we could call it that, so.
Many people don't realize how far back we go.
Oh, yeah, it is amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's where it all came from, and even before 1822, the residents of Cottrellville were fleeing over to the British because they were being attacked by the Indians, so, yeah, a lot of history here.
Well, there was also a lot of, I don't wanna say court cases as such, because anybody under the French, because all of these were plotted under the French.
Right.
Because all the ones that are, private claims.
Yep.
Had to be redone, under the US government, which wasn't done until, it took several years.
Yeah, it was
after.
like I said, I think you're right, it was 1812, I think.
Yeah, I think around 1812 was when that started or,
Yep.
or finished up. And that's when your neighbor had to come in and say, yeah, he's been living there for, you know, for a
Yep.
while under the French for him to get his property.
Yep, and you know, because you're our history guy. So, no, you're good with that, yeah.
I did have a question about this. Is it gonna continue to be blue, or
So,
or is it gonna be green to match?
my thought, and we can all obviously have input on that part of it, with any of that can change at this is the final. My thought was because green and grass and trees and green and everything's green out there, to leave it blue. The only thing that wouldn't be blue is the logo in the corner. But again, we can all have input on that. This is not a final drawing. This is not, they're going to actually, where it's the words Cottrellville, they're going to match it to the font, because I just provided that to them today. So, yeah, this is, like I said, not the final production of it. And if we all agree.
This is what's out there right now, right?
Correct. Yep. So if we all agree we would like it to all be green based off of all of the rest of the changes we've made, website, business cards, Facebook page, all of everything that we've done so far has been with a green color scheme. We can include changing it to be green on the sign as well. So they're refabricating the entire face. If we wanna change it, colors, we change colors. If we want it to remain blue with just the logo colors changed, we can do that.
Okay.
Do you guys want to discuss the colors now, or you want to?
It don't matter. I was just curious.
I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Approve entering into this contract?
What's that?
A motion to enter into contract?
Yes.
And have discussions, because obviously we need to talk more about that.
We can have them provide, we'll enter the discussions, and then maybe you have them do a couple different color schemes and show us, and then
see
approve
the
it at the next
option.
meeting.
I'd like
Sure.
to see what it looks like in the green.
Okay. So we can definitely make that decision. We can add that to the agenda for the June 23rd meeting.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, so we, I'll make a motion to enter into contract with them to make the changes, and we will get final drawings by the June 23rd meeting.
I'll second that. All in favor by roll call vote?
Greg,
Yes.
Angela, yes, Sarah,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Lisa.
Yes.
Motion carries. All right. Moving on to the public comments and announcements. Anybody have anything to say, they can come up to the podium. Now's your time. I'm opening that up at 8:53. Holy snikes. No one? Bueller? Go back to the Bueller reference. No? All right, we'll close that at 8:23. Or, I'm sorry,
You
8:50.
have one.
Oh, Sharon, you're gonna come up?
Yeah,
Come on up.
being that I live on Shea near Starville, I'm getting really disgusted hearing car accidents. In the last 2 months, we've had 3 accidents, 2 fatals, 1 rollover. You've got lights, you've got signs. What would be the intentions to maybe put up rumble strips, to flashing light, a overhead light? I understand Palms is being considered for a roundabout as well as Shea and Starville. However, they're more of a priority, and yet they have a traffic control device. We don't.
Okay. Well, I can, if you want me to address it now, I'll kind of tell you what's going on.
Can I ask a question real quick? What do you mean by traffic control device that they have over
A
there?
traffic light.
Okay.
Okay, yes, we've had 3 accidents, couple
Since
fatalities. That rollover was pretty bad. I've seen the video. I shared that with Bill Hazelton at the Road Commission. When I shared that with him after the accident, the weekend before last, I asked if we could have rumble strips. At first, I asked if just rumble strips. Actually, that was after the second accident. I asked for rumble strips before the stop sign because the young lady rolled through the stop sign at 25 miles an hour and got hit. Whether she was paying attention or not, I can't say. There's a lot of different things that are going on with the videos, a lot of different reasons for the accidents. I had originally asked for rumble strips. After the last accident, and I had sent the videos to Mr. Hazelton, and he's reviewed the videos, and he is, along with myself, are advocating for a 4-way stop with lights and rumble strips until the roundabout goes in. Now, it's my understanding that we had public comment today, this afternoon, on the roundabout going into Shea and Starville. I think a lot of people are under the impression that it's a proposed, that it's not, that it's not for certain. My understanding is we are getting a roundabout. It's coming. It will be here whether they get to it this fall or they've been running behind, so it could be next spring. But we are getting a roundabout. In the meantime, I've advocated for the 4-way stop with rumble strips and lights. And we are awaiting approval from the Michigan State Police. I had emailed Mr. Hazelton yesterday, or Monday, and he was going to try and get a hold of the state police Tuesday. I did not have a chance to email him back to see if he'd heard from them. If I don't get an answer by Friday, I'm going to start making louder noises. During when I ran for this office, that was a bad intersection. We had several accidents there. In fact, I think we've had 9 total this year now, since in the first quarter, and now those additional 3, we've had 9. It's a bad corner. It's been a bad intersection for decades. I don't understand why nothing's been done, but I ran on getting something done at that intersection and along Shea. I'm hoping to have answers by Friday.
Okay, well, 2 issues, if I remember correctly, Commander. The state police
Zook.
said, anything you need, call.
Yep,
I'm here for you,
yep,
right?
yep.
Yeah, okay. So he's not.
He also said we only had 10 accidents,
Yeah.
and we had 9 in 6 months.
Right, and like your proposal to put up a 4-way stop, I'm gonna go back to exactly what I told him. If you don't have a presence of patrol, those no sign, no light is gonna make a difference.
Yep. Well, that will be coming up shortly. We had a couple meetings on the special, on raising the special assessment to cover a police contract. I was gonna hold a 3rd meeting and allow the Clay Township Police Chief to present an offer, and he has not been in touch, so we are looking to moving forward with a police contract with the Sheriff's Department. That is forthcoming. I'm not gonna lie about it. It's gonna be on the agenda. Letters will be going out here shortly. As soon as the attorney finishes the wording on opening up the agenda to raise the assessment. I'm not gonna lose fire funding. We will be raising the assessment for police. As long as I get the board approval, that's the plan. And
I just wanted to see some progress on this.
it takes time. I know we've heard that in the past, but I mean, I've been here 6 months and I got the MCI ordinance passed. We're making improvements on the grounds. And I started working on the police contract, and hopefully September I'll be able to sign a police contract. We'll have the last quarter covered.
No, I understand that, but I just mean, put your foot on the gas and start talking to these people. I mean, this is loss of life.
And that was, I've been screaming that from the rooftop since April of last year.
So what do you need the public to do to help support you?
Support me on the assessment, and we'll get the police. If I don't hear anything by Friday, I'll post something on the website to have you guys call the road commission.
Okay.
If I don't hear anything and the state police hasn't been, in contact, I'm gonna call the news. They need to bring awareness. It's awareness. People, there's a lot of talk on Facebook about, well, people just need to pay attention. People need to do this. People need to do. It's a whole circle of issues that not one particular thing is gonna fix. It's gotta come together and gel, police presence, stop signs, the roundabout, and awareness. It's all got to come together to.
I'd also like to ask if you would look at maybe posting a slower speed. You might ask them that.
Yeah.
But once again, speed doesn't make any difference. Signs don't, if you don't have patrol in the area. But I do think that shade needs to be reduced, maybe 5-10 miles an hour.
I can look into that. I can talk to Bill Hazelton about that and see if he has to talk to MDOT or what we need to do. I mean, to be honest with you, people don't pay attention to the speed limit on that road anyway. I go every once in a while I can look down at my speedometer and I'm doing 60, and people are flying by me like I'm standing still. More often than not. I mean, I can't drive from Palms Road to Starville without getting passed by at least two people.
Oh, I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying
Yeah.
that, but if there are signs up and if there are police patrol and if they would write tickets,
Yeah.
it might stop it.
Hey,
How about cameras there?
what's that?
How about cameras there instead of using the store?
The store, I'll present it. I'll ask them if they can put some cameras up.
With cameras, they're gonna take license plates.
Well, yeah. Then it'd be up to the state police to run that program, because until we get the contract with the sheriff, I mean, technically, I don't think they would. They might enforce it. I don't know. I'd have to ask them. But yeah, I'm advocating for anything. I don't want to.
It seems to me that with that intersection particularly, but in general, all these other ones, every answer that the Michigan Highway or St. Clair Highway Department has is put a roundabout in. And it's the most expensive method of doing it. Put damn heavy rumble strips out there and a lighted sign, stop sign. You're going to catch 80 or 90% of some. The only thing you're not going to catch is somebody not paying attention to somebody coming up that hill.
I'll be honest with you. When I advocated for something, Angela brought up the rumble strips, and I said even the temporary construction ones, the red ones that they put down when you're getting it, something. I want something. I don't want another cross going up in this community.
Put them up in a week.
Yeah. They've got to get approval from the state police, so that's I'm pushing for this. I mean, as everybody knows, I don't want another cross going up. Things need to be done, and I'm trying to get them done, and I'm getting them done as fast as I can. But again, I'm at the.
What's the cost of a roundabout?
That roundabout, I think, is like $433,000 or something like that. Yeah, I mean, lights and poles. Again,
They're already blinking lights at the stop sign.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
if you put the stop signs that have the.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like put two more.
8 feet tall.
Is there any way we can get the, St. Clair County deputies to be just more present in that area in the meantime?
Again, the problem with that is, like Sheriff King said, there's 3 roaming deputies south of Port Huron on this side of 94. When we get this contract with the sheriff's department, we have a deputy in the township. Then we get a little bit more. That deputy's going to see where the problem areas are.
You can focus.
And he can focus on that, and then he can have help from the roving deputies. That is all, this should have been done a decade ago. It should have been done 2 decades ago.
I've been there since
It's-
2001.
It should have been,
First year we moved in, 4 accidents.
yeah, it's,
But no fatalities until just recently.
yeah, it's getting out of hand. People are not, they're speeding, they're driving. A police presence, somebody says, oh, well, police ain't gonna do anything.
Yes.
Police presence, study after study has shown that police presence reduces accidents and increases public safety. That's my goal, that's what I ran on. If people are mad at me because I gotta raise $1 million to pay for police to keep the fire funding, then be mad at me. I'll own that.
Why can't we as a community, I'll buy a stop sign. I'll buy one. Any other takers? For
Hey,
more?
If I don't have answers by Friday, I'll be calling you guys and telling you, hey, come with me, because I'm gonna get the news crews out here. I want action. I mean, that's what I ran on. I ran to protect this community. So, like I said, I'll own everything I'm doing. And then I'll call you guys and ask for help, because I'll call Channel 7, Channel 2, Channel 4. I don't care. I go to Washington and I talk to the people about what's going on. I don't have a problem talking to people. And so like I said, I am working on it. I've got emails. I mean, if you want to FOIA them, I've got emails to Bill Hazelton. So just know I'm working on it. I'm hoping to have an answer by Friday, because
If anybody wants to call Commander Zook and talk to him directly, his phone
The-
number's on our website.
yeah,
Under
his
public
personal
safety.
cell phone's on the website. So, again, like I said, he said we only had 10 accidents in the whole township last year, and I think we had more than that at that intersection. So, again, we're working on it. So, that's my answer to that. Stay tuned, get a hold of me Friday and see where I'm at. You got my number.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Hey, it takes community to advocate for this. Yeah, some people are against it, but like I said, I will own everything I do. This is what I ran on.
Those 4 corners is against it.
What's that?
Not anybody on those 4 corners is against it.
Oh, yeah,
Including, especially that store.
yeah.
They got a lot to lose. They almost did lose that last accident.
Yeah. Well, that's what I say. I'll own everything that I do to improve this community. And if people don't like what I do, then in 3 years, get rid of me. But I ran on it. This is what you guys elected me to do, and this is what I'm doing. So that'll be the first step. So get a hold of me Friday, probably before noon, or if you have my cell phone number, because we're not in the office, I think you have my cell phone number. Call me Friday, and I'll let you know what I find out, because I work Fridays. I work every day.
Appreciate it, Craig.
Yep, no problem. Again, June 19th, next Thursday, River Park cleanup between 10 and 2.
10 and noon.
10 and noon? Okay, 10 and noon. Anybody in the audience and anybody at home, come on out. Let's make it a community event. Start making this community a showpiece. I don't think I have any other announcements.
June 23rd, special meeting.
June 23rd, special meeting, 6 p.m.
At 6.
6 p.m. Yep, 6 p.m. works for you guys, right? 6 p.m. Perfect. Do you guys have anything you want to say? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
All in favor by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned.